Hey everyone, Dario here, and if you work with Excel and constantly have to merge multiple tables into one, this video is for you. I'll show you how to automate that process and save a ton of time. But before we begin, here are some timestamps in case you want to skip to specific parts of the video. Let's go! So, let's say I have this Excel file with some sales data, and each day I have to get new files and combine them into this one. But instead of doing it manually or using Visual Basic or Excel formulas, I'm going to show you an awesome tool called Power Query that lets you connect to different data sources, transform the data, merge it, and finally you can load it into your Excel file. Let's see how it works. So for your first case, let's say I only need to combine two files. It's really important that the tables on both files have exactly the same structure. So the same number of columns and the same name on those columns. To do this, I have a blank Excel, and I told you we're going to use Power Query. To use Power Query, we're going to look for the Data tab on your Excel file and use the first option called Get Data. You can get data from a lot of different sources. You can get data from other Excel workbooks, CSVs, PDFs. You can even get data from a website or from a SQL database. So in this case, we're going to get data from Excel workbook. This is going to open a file browser. So here I have the same location I just showed you with my Excel data. And I'm going to click on the first file I want to combine. Let's go to the import option. When you click on import, a screen called the navigator is going to open. And here you can preview the data you're going to import. So I'll click on Superstore Sales, that's the name of the tab where I have the information in my first file, and I'll go to the option Transform Data. This is going to open Power Query. As I told you, Power Query lets you connect to data sources, transform them, merge them, and finally you can load that data into your Excel file. So here at the left we have our data sources, in the middle we have a data preview, here we can do all the transformations. And the great thing is that all the transformations we do will be saved in the Applied Steps tab. So the transformations will be automated. And here we go, it's looking okay, but we have to combine this data with our other file. So let's import our second file. We're gonna look for the option New Sources. Let's look for File, and we'll also click on Excel Workbook. This time the process is the same as before. You'll use the file browser, the navigator, and import your data into Power Query. We have both of our files right here. So to merge them, it's pretty easy. We're gonna look for a tool at the upper side called Append Queries. And this will stack our first table with our second table. And I'll tell it that we want to append the Superstore Sales 2 to our current file. I'll click on OK. And that's it. Just like that, both of our tables are merged into one. To load this data into our Excel file, we'll just look for the option called Close and Load. Okay, the data already loaded, and it's going to create a new tab for each of the data sources that you have on Power Query. In this case, we really only need the Superstore Sales tab. So for the second method, let's say that I don't want to combine only two files, that I want to combine all the files in a folder. So here I have the same two files in a folder called Sales. Okay, here I have another blank Excel. Let's go again to Data tab, Get Data. And in this case, instead of selecting Get Data from an Excel workbook, we're going to look for the option Get Data from Folder. This is going to open the file browser, but in this case, instead of selecting the Excel files, we're going to select the folder where they are located. So I'll click on Sales. Remember, for this method to work, the structures on your files must be the same. So you have to have the same number of columns and the columns have to be named the same. Okay, this is going to open this screen that gives you all the files in that folder. And you're gonna look for the option Combine and Transform Data. After that, another screen opens called Combine Files, and you have to select which tab you want to combine from all those files. In this case, it's the tab called Superstore Sales. Important, your tabs have to be named the same in the multiple files. I'll click on OK. And here Power Query goes to that folder and it combines all the different files into one single table. So as you can see, we have a new column called source name. And if I click on this filter, load more, I have information from our first file and from our second file. Just as before, to load it into Excel, we just gotta come to the option called Close and Load. And here we have it, our sales table with our files combined. Now, what happens when we want to add new data? Do we have to do all this Power Query thing again? Well, actually no, because we told Power Query to combine all the files in that folder. As we add new Excels into that location, it will automatically combine them once we refresh data into our Excel file. Here I have a third file called Superstore Sales, and I'll just move it to our sales folder. If we get back to our Excel file, I'll go to the Data tab, and instead of clicking on Get Data, we'll just have to click on Refresh All. This is going to run the same process we did on Power Query. And if you see, I'll click on this, we already have our Superstore Sales tree data into our file. Alright, so that was a quick video on how to combine files using Power Query. As you could see, it's an awesome tool, it's going to save you a ton of time, and it's really easy to use. Also, if you got value from this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep leveling up your digital knowledge. Finally, here's another video if you want to keep learning. So that's that. Bye!